The classroom had always been her sanctuary. For Emma Lewis, teaching wasn't just a job, it was her calling, her heartbeat, the place where she found meaning. Every morning, she arrived early with chalk-stained hands, worn books, and a warm smile that somehow made even the most nervous child feel safe. Her classroom walls weren't just covered in posters and lessons, they were decorated with compassion, empathy, and unwavering love. Emma taught at Brookdale Elementary, a school in a struggling district where many students came from low-income families. She knew her students' names, their dreams, their struggles. She brought snacks for those who came to school hungry, bought supplies with her own money, and stayed after hours to tutor those who fell behind. One of those students was a quiet boy named Liam. He was 7 years old, with large eyes and worn-out shoes. Emma had noticed early on that Liam often came to school without lunch, his clothes too thin for the season, and his eyes always scanning the room nervously. While others labeled him as troubled or distracted, Emma saw something different, a boy fighting a silent battle no one else bothered to understand. One day, during recess, Emma caught Liam sitting alone behind the playground. His face was bruised. When she gently asked what had happened, he hesitated before whispering, "It was my stepdad. I said I lost my homework and he got mad." Emma's heart clenched. She reported the incident immediately, following every protocol she had been trained to. She even went a step further, calling Child Protective Services and offering to testify if needed. But the administration wasn't happy. The school board, fearing legal backlash and bad press, accused Emma of overstepping her role. They claimed she had interfered without proper channels, and days later, she was dismissed from her position. Just like that, years of service, love, and sacrifice were erased with a cold, emotionless letter of termination. Emma was devastated. Without a job, she struggled to pay rent. Word of her dismissal spread, and many schools, afraid of hiring someone labeled a troublemaker, wouldn't consider her. But Emma never regretted what she did. She had protected a child. She had done what was right, even when it cost her everything. Months passed. Emma took part-time tutoring jobs, helped kids with reading in the local library, and quietly searched for a school that still believed in heart over politics. One day, she received a call from a number she didn't recognize. The voice on the other end was kind, curious, and purposeful. "Ms. Lewis, this is Michael Grant. I'm the new principal at Willowridge Academy. I read about what happened to you. I'd like to meet." Willowridge was a public charter school in a nearby town, known for its student-centered approach and strong community values. Intrigued and slightly hopeful, Emma agreed. When she met Principal Grant, he welcomed her with warmth, not suspicion. "I don't see a liability," he told her after reviewing her file. "I see a hero who refused to stay silent." He offered her a teaching position on the spot. But it wasn't just a job. He wanted her to lead a new initiative, a safe space program for vulnerable students. It was her dream in disguise. Emma joined Willowridge and brought with her everything she had: experience, compassion, and a fierce desire to create change. From day one, her classroom became a haven. She worked closely with counselors, created trust-building workshops, and made sure no student felt invisible. She wasn't just teaching math or reading, she was teaching kindness, boundaries, courage. The Safe Space program took off. Students who had been dismissed as difficult or lost causes began to thrive. They had someone to listen to them, advocate for them, believe in them. And the school began to change, not just in numbers or test scores, but in spirit. Children began to smile more, speak up, feel seen. One afternoon, Emma was grading papers when she heard a knock on her door. It was Liam. He looked older, taller. "Miss Lewis," he said quietly, "I heard about what you did for me. I didn't forget. I never will." Emma's eyes filled with tears. Liam had been placed in foster care after the report. It was hard at first, he explained, but he eventually found a family that cared. He was now in high school, doing well, and volunteering with kids like him. "You saved my life," he said. "I just wanted to say thank you." That moment, for Emma, was worth more than any paycheck, title, or recognition. It was a living, breathing reminder that doing the right thing, no matter the cost, was always worth it. Her story eventually reached local news. They featured her as the teacher who was fired for protecting a child and came back to transform a school. Parents reached out with gratitude. Students brought her letters. And Principal Grant continued to support her every step of the way. Emma never sought fame. She didn't want credit. All she wanted was to be the kind of adult she once needed when she was a child, a person who stood up when no one else would. Over time, Willowridge became a model school for trauma-informed education. They received funding to expand the Safe Space program statewide. Emma began training other teachers, not just in curriculum, but in compassion. Her methods focused on the emotional well-being of children, listening first, judging never, and responding with care. She would often say, "A child's behavior is a message. Our job is to understand what they're trying to say before we decide how to react." Emma's classroom became a story in itself, walls filled with student art, hand-drawn posters about empathy, and a corner called the pause place, where children could sit and reset if they felt overwhelmed. Years later, when she received the National Compassionate Educator Award, she accepted it with humility. "This award is not for me," she said. "It's for the child who was scared and didn't know how to ask for help. It's for every teacher who's ever had to choose between policy and humanity. And it's for every student out there who thinks they're alone. You're not. Someone sees you. Someone cares." Emma's journey is more than a tale of struggle, it's a testament to the power of integrity and heart. In a world that often rewards silence and compliance, she chose to act. She chose to protect. She chose to believe in the goodness of doing good. Her new principal didn't just give her a second chance. He gave her the platform to turn her pain into purpose. And in doing so, he helped spark a movement that would ripple far beyond one classroom. Because sometimes, the best stories aren't the ones where everything goes right. They're the ones where someone loses everything standing up for what's right, only to find something even more meaningful on the other side. Emma Lewis was fired for protecting a child. And because of that, she changed the lives of hundreds more. And that, perhaps, is the truest lesson of all.